Today, we will talk about the reality of getting a loan in Brazil. What APRs are banks charging? What are the hidden fees and taxes? Find out here in this video. So, you find yourself needing to buy something, either for necessity or pleasure. A medical treatment or a medicine, a repair or renovation of your house, a new TV, a rock for your companion, a wedding, or even a trip to the Maldives. You start consulting sources for a loan. And believe me, there are lots of lenders out there eager to do business with you. But what are they offering? What's the catch? In this episode, I will show offers from 4 different lenders and how each presents the information. For better understanding how brutal the APRs are in Brazil, imagine if you borrow the amounts shown in the examples and have to pay the corresponding installments amounts, all in your local currency. It will make it easier. It is important to mention that I have a near perfect credit score with a current very low rate of credit used. Also, the simulations were for unsecured loans without any collateral. First, let's review the mandatory and the optional charges when signing a loan in Brazil. The same as in my previous video talking about credit card APRs, what we're looking for is the CET, which stands for Final Total Cost. That includes all extra stuff on top of the base APR. Pay attention on the CET. So the first additional charge, it's called IOF, is mandatory and applies to all credit transactions in the country. As of April 2025, the charge is 0.38% of the loan amount. The following 2 charges are not mandatory but are often included in the transactions. One is a credit check fee, charged by some institutions when checking your credit profile. The other charge is an insurance to reduce the lender's liability in case of default. It is common to see the charge for this insurance to be included in the CET cost. So pay attention. The first example is from Banco Itaú, the largest private bank in Brazil. This is the loan home screen. I have to click on the personal loan link. In this example, it shows that I can request up to 18K. On the next screen, you can specify the amount of the loan, the day of the month to pay, and the amount of the installments. I change it to 10,000 and a 12-month term. The following screen shows details about the offer, such as the total amount, the payment plan, monthly payment day, insurance option, APR, and installment amount. The insurance option is another way to charge something, like an add-on. The bank offers a better APR in case you contract the insurance. However, the fact that you're adding insurance increases the installment amount. Therefore, the supposed lower rate doesn't help in the end. Let's take a look at what the insurance covers. It says, if you lose your job, temporary or permanent impairment, and death. Next are the exceptions and terms and conditions. So the conclusion is that unless you are worried about losing your job, there's no real value in contracting it. Well, it's important to note that the default results screen shows the amount with insurance. So if you don't pay attention, it will sleep through. So they're going to charge you the higher monthly amount in the end. So talking about the rates, let's consider with no insurance, which is the lowest monthly payment option. This example it shows 12 payments of 1,351 and change, bringing the total amount paid to 16,216. So the final APR in this case is around 160%. 160%, folks. That is nuts. And the weird part is that because I simulated this loan, the bank started to contact me trying to close the deal. And the bank representative was trying to convince me that it was a great offer. How cool is that? So, moving on, we have Banco Pan, a digital bank owned by Banco Pactual, one of the largest financial institutions in South America. As you can see, it doesn't let me go over 1K, so be 1K, just for the example. Then the start month and day for the payback, and here comes the offers. Get ready. Both offers have the same rate, 17% per month. Then it offers insurance. If you notice, in this case, the insurance is not included in the first offer. You add it if you choose to, which I think is a more honest way to present the results. Now, talking about the rates, the final APR is 604%. So if you get 1K after 3 payments, you will pay back 1,477. So it sounds like an awesome deal for who is lending. I'm not so sure for the ones who are borrowing the money. It's crazy talk about these numbers, right? The next two examples come from Xperia in Brazil, called Serasa. I subscribe to their credit score monitor, and they constantly send me loan offers. Let's see what their network has to offer. Starting with the box to the right, we have a company offering 2.5K with 12 payments of 442, which means an APR of around 382%. If this sounds crazy, wait, there's more. Moving to the left, we find the offer to borrow 3.5K and paying 12 installments of 694, corresponding to a crazy APR of around 541. I said 541%. That is sick. Taking the US market as an example, the average APR for unsecured personal loans in 2024 was between 10 to 13%. This means that someone with a perfect credit score would get below 10%, and a rip-off APR would be something around 25%. The bottom line is that Brazil is not for beginners. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere, because these scenarios are very challenging and there is never a relief. It is the same as per credit card APRs. All of a sudden, you may find yourself in a black hole where banks and financial institutions are squeezing everyone inside, getting the juice out of it, which is the highest profit as possible. The ones in the bottom of the pyramid are the ones being hurt. That is the truth. And on the other side, we have banks offering investments with return rates around 14 to 15% per year. So we're talking about getting money from investors paying roughly 15% per year and lending to ordinary people charging 300, 400, 600%. The results are massive, and we will talk about this dystopia on a later episode. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash the like button, share with friends, and subscribe to the channel. There are lots of interesting topics coming soon. Stay well, everyone. Cheers.